Hey guys, so a few hours ago I uploaded my video going over what I think is going to, well, not really what I think, just a design of a blue Gogeta LR that I made myself that I think could be a possibility of something we could see come from the 5th anniversary of Dokkan Battle on the JP version. So if you're seeing this video first, that is pretty much what this is. It's not really a prediction because it's impossible to predict, like, what's going to come out of a anniversary, like what the units will look like. But we're 95% sure that they're going to be blue Gogeta and blue Vegito. So this is the blue Vegito video. I created basically my own customized blue Vegito LR, and we're going to be going through the details of that card right here. So first things first, I just want to say this is the best image I could find of a base form Goku and Vegeta in the Goku Black arc. Now ideally it would be like them like having the Patara earrings or whatever. So I started the blue Gogeta card with Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta from the Broly movie, and this one's going to be starting as a base form Goku and Vegeta. And the reason for that is because we already have a Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, and we already have a Super Saiyan Angel Goku and Vegeta. So now, with these two cards that I have created, we're going to be having Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, Super Saiyan Angel Goku and Vegeta, base form Goku and Vegeta, and then a Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta. So a lot of Gokus and Vegetas, but I think it works well for these types of cards. You'll see why. So these are the stats that I gave them. And going down, the leader skill that I went with was, it's a new category. I called it the Last Resort category. 150 stats, 3 key. Basically what this category is it's essentially like all of the moves that like people save until like they have nothing left. And that would include basically all of the fusions, well, except for Gotenks maybe. I think, so like all the Gogetas, all the Vegetas would be in there because it's basically like the last resort. That's the last, like they save the fusions for last, right? They're not going to fuse unless they absolutely need to. Stuff like the Spirit Bomb would be in there, and it's just sort of that kind of category. So I didn't want to go too powerful with it because obviously it's insanely overpowered category, but it's very small, I think. So I think 150 is kind of the way I'm going to go for that. And then a Patara leader skill is a secondary one. Attack and defense plus 170, and then HP plus 150. I mean, we don't really have that many Patara leaders. We have, what, 2? We have Kefla, and then we have the LR Vegito from year 3. So I think it's about time we got another one of those. And the category itself is not that big, right? And people also might be thinking, oh, well, you know, all the Patara units could just fit onto the Last Resort category. Well, that's not true because like Goku Black is on there, like Gowasu is on there, Supreme Kai and stuff. So on the Patara category, so that will come into play later. You'll see why. So let's go down. Super attacks are the Super God Char. I don't know. I didn't know what to call this. This was made up this name for it. This is like when Goku and Vegeta charged at Merge Zamasu when he had that like blue, or not, the purple like bird like spirit thing. Whatever that's called, and they just charged through it and broke it. So that's that attack. Lowers attack and causes colossal damage to the enemy. And then full power Kamehameha is the one where Goku like shoots that Kamehameha through like the Merge Zamasu like ball. Like I don't remember what it's called. I think it's like Judgment something. But he shoots it through that and like it like damages Zamasu pretty badly. So that greatly lowers the attack, which is why I did that. And then it causes Mega Colossal. So that's the super attacks. Passive is Final Stand. Attack plus 15% and defense plus 10% per key sphere obtained. And randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to physical key spheres. So this is a physical unit, by the way, just in case you weren't aware. You didn't notice the coloring here in the name. That means it's a physical unit. The Gogeta I made was an int unit. And then performs Patara fusion when conditions are met. So this is like deceptively powerful for an LR to have this kind of ability. We don't really have an LR that does this. Like, it has a nuking passive and then creates their own spheres. Like, the only unit that does that to an extent is LR Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku, and he creates rainbow key spheres, whereas this guy is creating physical. It's hard to say which is better, but I think this is probably better by a bit. And then 50% attack and defense, and 50% attack and 10% defense is not bad. So I think people are going to look at this and think this is a little bit underpowered, but it's actually really not that bad. And then he has a transformation. There's pretty much two parts to this. If you saw my Gogeta video, I did something similar in that one, but his transformation, his first transformation is an active skill. This one is just a traditional transformation. So, 50% chance to perform Potara Fusion when at 70% HP or below, starting from the 3rd turn. That's basically the first half of it. Okay? That's the baseline. Or 100% chance to perform Potara Fusion when at 70% HP or below, starting from the 3rd turn, if a character whose name contains Gowasu is attacking in the same turn. So I did something similar to this on the Gogeta card, where I had the active skill have a 50% chance to fail, but it became a 100% chance when you have a Piccolo unit attacking in the same turn. I did the same thing here with Gowasu, and by the way, I was thinking something like, for the Gogeta banner, they could also throw in like a new Piccolo unit on there. That's maybe like a fusion support. And then on this one, they could throw in like Gowasu, a new Gowasu. Even though we already have a Zamasu and Gowasu unit, that could work because it's a name contains condition. It's not if their name is Gowasu. It's just, so Zamasu and Gowasu would work in this case. But they can make a new Gowasu that would work with this guy too. So, I mean, he would fit on the Potara category. That's one of the reasons why I decided to make this guy Potara leader, because Gowasu would not fit on this new category, Last Resort. He would fit on the Potara team, right? And so he would fit under this leader skill, and that would work. So, I don't think this is that bad. I mean, 3rd turn is pretty early. 70% HP is not that hard to fall under. And then, if you're running this guy, you're going to want to run Zamasu and Gowasu most likely anyway. So I think that's actually not a bad condition to have him there, and it's a 100% chance to transform. Very easy. Or you could not put Gowasu on your team and you have a 50% chance to transform, which is not terrible. You're not losing anything, right? The first form here is still pretty good. So that's what I went with transformation conditions. So something I want to just talk about real fast. I mentioned this in the last video too with Gogeta. I think they really need to start using the you need to have this on your team, you need to have like this attacking in the same turn, whatever. That condition should not predetermine whether or not you're able to transform or not. I don't think that's the correct way to go about this. I think there should be 2 separate buckets. So we have the first bucket here. That's one condition. So it's not an and condition, it's an or condition. Or. So you have this, you can have like a slightly more difficult chance to transform here, but you're not going to need Gowasu to transform. Or you can choose to build your team around this character, put Gowasu on your team, and you're going to have a much easier time transforming. So I think that sort of expands on the team building options too, and I think that's something that they should consider looking at more closely, because people were extremely upset, and they are still upset about $300 million characters, their conditions and stuff. So give us more options, make our lives easier when we want to transform. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me how they did that. Links are Kamehameha, Experienced Fighters, Prepare for Battle, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, Fierce Battle, and the Legendary Power. There wasn't really much I could do with the base form because you can't put Super Saiyan and stuff on there, so I had to go with these for now. But I mean, also Kamehameha. I mean, he has a Kamehameha super attack, so it's going to be on there. It's no avoiding it. But I mean, Experienced Fighters, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle. I mean, those are all pretty good links. And Legendary Power is also pretty much just always going to be there because obviously it's an LR. Next we have Base Form Vegito. So transforming into Base Form Vegito. I thought about this for a long time. I was like, we'll get to that in a second. But super attacks are Big Bang Attack, 12 key. Raises defense, so it's infinite stacking defense, and causes colossal damage to enemy, and raises allies' attack by 20% for 1 turn. So it has that double effect on there. I think this is a pretty good ability still. And then the 18 key is Spirit Sword. Raises attack and defense, so it's a double stack. It's a double infinite stack, I guess. And it causes mega colossal damage, and it raises allies' attack by 20% for 2 turns. So this one is very powerful. You raise attack and defense infinitely, and then you also do the who is it? The LR Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 18 key effect as well, where you raise allies' attack for 2 turns. That's very powerful. So that's that. Here's the part that I had a hard time getting how I wanted it to look. So Miraculous Power of the Potara Earrings. Attack plus 17% and defense plus 12% per key sphere obtained. Randomly changes the key spheres of a certain type to physical key spheres. High chance to guard against all attacks as the first attacker in a turn. So, and transformation conditions are met. A lot of times with Vegito units, you want to put them in the first slot because they counter, right? So spoilers, my blue form doesn't have counters. I didn't make this card based around counters, and that's something that I really had to decide right off the bat of whether I wanted this guy to be counters or not. Because if a unit is based around counters, it's going to change their entire kit, and you have to build the entire unit based around the fact that knowing that they can counter, because it's pretty much the most overpowered ability in the entire game. So instead of basically, because if your unit has counters, you want to put them in the first slot no matter what anyway. But this is a better way to, like, if your unit doesn't have counters, there's no way to actually do that unless you do something like this. So as the first attacker in a turn condition. And I think the high chance to guard against all attacks is actually a good enough, it's a good enough condition to where you actually want to put them in the first slot. Now, there's like a thing where this doesn't activate unless you attack first. And then after that, they have a chance to guard. I think that's how this would work, which is a little bit but I mean, still good. He gets 17% and 12% per key sphere obtained, and he changes orbs, and he has these ridiculous abilities on his super attacks. And the thing that I was really trying to think about was this. So transformation conditions, 70% chance to transform at the start of turn. Now, initially, I was considering making this an active skill instead of a transformation. And the way I originally had this unit was I had him. So he transformed with the Vegito from the Goku and Vegeta, and then the way I initially had it was that he would get his active skill immediately. So you would have the chance to transform into this guy, and then on the same turn, you would have the chance to activate his active skill and transform into blue immediately, like completely bypassing this form. But I don't know. I feel like that's, even though that's kind of what he did in the show, I kind of feel like completely skipping this base form Vegito form is a little bit not. It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I decided to go with this. I mean, 70% is pretty good. So basically, you would transform into this base form Vegito, and then you would have a 70% chance on your starting from the next time he comes on rotation to transform, which is high. I mean, it's basically a great chance, right? Great chance to transform at the start of turn. So it's fine. I mean, even if you get unlucky, and let's say for like a turn you don't transform, like these effects are good enough to where when you do eventually transform, these stacks will help you out a lot. So I think the base form is pretty good how it is, and then we get a major power boost when we go to blue. So let's take a look at him. Oh, first let's take a look at the links, right? So he gains these ones in red. He gains shocking speed, gains fuse fighter, and then he gains power bestowed by God. So these ones were given. I think he dropped what? Kamehameha and what was it? Oops. Saiyan Lineage, Kamehameha, and I think Experienced Fighters he dropped. So that's not terrible. I mean, you gain... Shocking Speed is a big one. I decided to give him Shocking Speed, just because I think he doesn't have anything to help him with Ki besides changing orbs, but that's fine. I mean, it'll help the units around him, right? Shocking Speed. That's fine. So these links I think are really good. Next we have Blue Vegito. So this is the big one. You could get this guy as early as turn 5, because you transform with the first form on turn 3. Then the next time the other guy comes around on turn 5, he has a chance to transform into Blue Vegito. So I mean, turn 5 is not bad. Same thing with the Gogeta I made. The earliest he can transform is turn 5. So that's not bad. Super attacks are 12 key God Impact. That's the LR Vegito Blues 18 key, but I think they could redo that a lot and make it look a lot better. Greatly raises attack, so that's infinite stacking, greatly raise attack, and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. 18 key. What's the matter? Can't keep up with my speed? That's when he's like punching the giant version of Merge Zamasu, and he's just like completely manhandling Zamasu. Greatly raise attack and defense, so infinitely greatly raises attack and defense, and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy with a high chance to stun. Because that's when he like pummeled him into the ground or whatever, and he was just like, because Zamasu was like out. He was like knocked out. Alright, so now we move on to the passive skill. The End of Evil. Attack plus 20% and defense plus 15% per key sphere obtained. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to physical key spheres, except for AGL. And then great chance to guard against all attacks as the first attacker in turn, so that's 70% chance. Physical key spheres burst with AGL key spheres when collecting physical key spheres. So let's say you start the turn out, right? And there's some physical key spheres on the field, and you change all of the tech key spheres to physical. And next to the physical key spheres, you have some AGL key spheres. Normally, those AGL key spheres wouldn't pop because they're not physical, right? So if you're collecting the physical key spheres, the way the burst mechanic works in the game is all the horizontal key next to the row that you're currently choosing. It only bursts, that's the term they use. They use the word burst for it. They only burst. They only get, aka they only get collected if they're the same color as the orb you're choosing. But what this is a new mechanic. They have never done this before. The way I'm saying this would work is, let's say you collect a physical key sphere, and then next to that physical key sphere there's an AGL key sphere. The game would act as if that AGL key sphere was physical. So I think that greatly increases the damage this guy and the defense this guy's going to have because of this. Per key sphere he's getting 20% attack and then 15% defense. Add on top of that, great chance to guard against all attacks of the first attacker in the turn. This guy's looking really powerful. I mean, personally, I think this guy's probably going to be better than the Gogeta I made, maybe? It's hard to tell. But that's not it, because he also has an active skill. So I gave Gogeta an active transformation, and I gave this guy an active ultimate. So this guy's active skill, Final Kamehameha. Effect is greatly raises attack temporarily, and causes ultimate damage to the enemy, and increases critical hit chance by 30% for 1 turn. And no conditions. So basically, whenever you transform, you can use this. So the reason why this is so ridiculously overpowered is because of this. And because of... Hold on, let me go back up. And because of this. So we've seen with Spirit Bomb Goku, the Super Saiyan Blue Spirit Bomb Goku, the way those active skills actually work is... The way the ultimate active skills work is, if you've built up attack via super attack effects, it actually takes that into the multiplier of the active skill. So you being able to raise your attack, and then you being able to greatly raise your attack here, infinitely, like, you build this up, and you're just going to kill everything. Because it also has a 30% chance to crit, right? So, I mean, this is also, this 30% chance to crit for 1 turn is also going to affect this and all your super attacks in that turn. So, even though this guy doesn't really even though this guy doesn't really counter, even though this guy doesn't really do any of that broken stuff, I feel like this guy is probably going to be better than that Gogeta that I made. And a lot of it has to do with this. It's just a lot. It's basically like a double orb changer. Is what this is. But it's a little bit different. It's hard to explain. I hope they start doing stuff like this, where they start doing stuff that's not in the game currently. I don't know. I want them to be creative. But anyway, that is my Vegito Blue, sort of my own creation, my own. Oh yeah, and then the links for him. So we gain Super Saiyan and then Kamehameha again, because the active skill is Kamehameha. So that's. I mean, this link set's really good. The only one that's not really that great is Kamehameha. But I mean, this guy is crazy. I don't think they're actually going to make him this good. That would be crazy if they did. But let me know what you guys think. Obviously, you guys are probably going to have a different opinion than me, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyway, and I'll see you all in the next one.